Mark in St. Louis, hello.
What's up, boys? How's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Fabulously.
Good. Hey, I noticed, I don't know if you guys can even say anything, but I noticed Opie's replay was gone. And if you look at any of the lineup, he's nowhere to be mentioned. Is he gone now?
Well, I typically don't check the Sirius website. It's not the most exciting place.
I got tweets, though,
about I'm talking about on the replay. I looked back on the replay to see. Okay.
Yeah, man, I was driving in this morning, and I was surprised to hear Dr. Steve was the new morning man. I would assume that something is awry with the channel when Dr. Steve is the morning man.
Yeah.
No offense to the good doctor, by the way. I love him with all my heart, but I just never... I didn't picture him jumping into that shift.
Especially not as a replay. That was not a live Dr. Steve. We didn't anticipate a Dr. Steve replay right before us. So, I would say it doesn't look good.
Hey, Troy just looked at the SiriusXM website. Apparently, we're on this afternoon.
You guys got to come back at 3.
Yeah, I did see. I did see that last night.
I got things to do.
You want to grab lunch and then come back for the afternoon?
What do you have to do?
Well, I was surprised to hear on my morning drive a guy talking about rolling his balls. I didn't think that was going to be the number one. The number one thing on a morning show.
Same thing after 8.
It's a new Sirius.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, pal. Yeah, there's definitely changes. Obviously, I mean, I was getting tweets about it last night. People are asking, and the full details I don't know.
I don't really know
what we're allowed to say, and I have to say that because it's like you feel like a pussy, not just.
Yeah. There's stuff going.
Fans are not stupid. You guys are not stupid.
There's very clearly stuff going on.
This is kind of funny.
What?
Well, just you go to hosts. It's Jim on top. Okay. Then Steve Covino. Then Eric Nagel. Then Roland.
Who's Sam Roberts?
No Sam. No Ellis.
Hang on. Just keep scrolling.
Right, why does Steve Covino's there twice?
Covino on
Steve
twice?
Covino?
Oh, good for him.
Maybe he's the new Opie. Keep scrolling down. Rich Davis.
Oh my God!
I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that stuff.
I know.
Yeah, it's never going to be an issue.
Nope.
No.
Johnny in Penn. Hello.
Yeah, seriously, guys. I think Opie got let go for talking about food and cooking all day. What is this, the morning zoo?
Well,
and you're going to have this guy's mom on?
No, she just called in. We got to take that call.
You put her on.
How do you not?
He's making a good point.
He's not. We've been talking about this shitty bread, and the lady calls in. No, we had to talk to her.
Fuck that. Kramer!
All right, goodbye.
She's throwing Shitloaf under the bus.
Yeah, we had to.
Yeah, no, we did the right thing. And I would imagine, because I know a lot of people are wondering about it, we will have answers to what's going on this channel confirmed today. It's got to be. I mean, everybody's noticed all the changes that have happened. We just don't know for sure what or who's going to announce what.
Yeah, and it's not, believe me, it's not that we don't want to or that we,
Yeah.
But when certain people tell you certain things,
especially right after they do certain things to certain people, you listen to them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, when you get phone calls, let's just say this. When you get phone calls and you see a name pop up on your caller ID, and you're like, oh no. This is never a good call.
Right.
The last time I got a call with this name on the caller ID was around the 4th of July in 2014.
Right.
That was the last time I got that call.
And there was nothing we could do about it.
No, there was nothing. But a lot of people's speculation is, I'm sure, correct.
Yeah.
But hold on, quick from in Boston. Yes, hello?
Hey, I was wondering when you guys are going to get Vic Henley in. Is that possible?
I like Vic, man. I brought Vic to the radio show. Like, I think Vic is very funny, so I would have Vic on the show. I mean,
yeah, you'd have to talk to Vic about it if he wants to.
We're not paying people to come in, but he is a funny guy. I think a lot of people, they might have got on Vic, but I like Vic and I like Sherrod. I like those guys very much.
Yeah.
I think Vic's funny. I do. I listen to both shows, so I'm like impartial.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, I grew up in Boston. So, I mean, Jimmy, I saw you in 99 or whatever in Avalon in Boston.
Oh, wow.
You called me a Catholic schoolboy. So I still remember this shit. But I think this Opie bullshit, you were 100% in the right. And I hear your subtle jabs, too, that you give to him. And I think the listeners that really, really, truly listen get it. And I think now, hey, now now it's payback, man.
You know,
Not even payback.
Yeah, I don't feel that way. Like I know what you're saying, and he and I really don't have a relationship. But if a guy is gone, I'm not reveling in the fact that somebody who got me my radio job might be out. Like as much as we've had bad blood, I don't revel in that. I really don't. I don't feel great that, hey, man, it's like our history is very weird, and it's been amazing at times. It was great a lot longer than it wasn't. But, I wouldn't be in this seat, and I'm not being magnanimous. It's the truth. I wouldn't be in the seat had he not decided to hire me, and neither would Sam.
Yeah, and I kind of stand by everything that I said on Friday, which is you don't want to see anything seriously bad happen to people who helped you out along the way. And there have been times when Opie was very supportive, and there have been times when Opie was
a dick. I mean, that's the way it is for all of us.
He stopped being supportive.
Yeah.
But you don't revel in somebody's misfortunes, because generally speaking, what goes around comes around.
Yeah, and it doesn't. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, and that's like not even like the people like who are real listeners, like who legitimately listen to you guys and aren't like some fucking troll, who have listened to you for years. You know what I mean? Like I don't call up all the time. I mean, you guys don't even know me. You know what I mean? Like I listen to the show because I like it. I get it, and to hear what he did, like you guys throw kind of subtle jabs at him a little. And then he throws them back at you pretty fucking hard.
I don't feel like he hit. I don't think he was out of line hitting. All right, thank you very much. We appreciate you listening, man. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. I didn't think like he did take shots, and so did we. But I didn't think that he was. Whoa, he's going too hard. You know what I mean? I didn't feel that way. It's just we were just kind of snipping at each other. But if he's got to find new employment, if that's what's what they've make this, I don't feel like a victory. I didn't have any investment in Opie not working. You know what I mean? I have no investment in him, his life not being okay.
Yeah, and if it were my choice, I'd say, of course, leave him on the channel, let him do his show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
If he's gone for good, it's a shame because he was enjoying that show.
Yes, I agree,
and he liked doing that show, and it was obvious that he enjoyed doing that show. And it's the extracurricular shit. How do you say it?
That's it.
That gets you a lot of times, and it's always. And I guess I've been so paranoid about it for so many years, but it's always the stuff you don't see coming. And you kind of, when things happen, especially off the air, a lot of times you have to immediately identify, like, okay, this is a real problem. This is a serious problem. Like, you have to be able to know this is bullshit and I can blow through this. And then, well, this is a tremendous potential for a fucking problem.
And some things have to really be dealt with off the air, and some people have to be spoken to, and so like sometimes you have to go out of your way to maybe say, you know what, I was wrong in this instance, I was wrong in that instance, and when that stops happening, it's not good.
You have to sometimes you have to step aside and just go, okay, this is a fucking disaster, I gotta sidestep this, and I just gotta shut up. And I have to make this right. And there's times when you got to do that. And it's like we all have egos. We all, especially in radio, because you talk so much. Mm-hmm. It's like fucking, I don't like to back down. I like to fight. I like to win. I don't like to be told what to do. We all have that.
And we can all talk. So obviously we all think that we can talk better than whoever the next guy is.
Yeah, we all think we can talk our way out of things.
Yeah.
But there are times where you have to just shut up, or you just have to recognize... you know what I mean? It's almost like if you're in a bar and you're a good talker and you're able to usually get out of confrontation. There's that one time where the guy you're having a little thing with is not looking to get out of the confrontation. He really wants to knock your teeth out. You have to be able to identify that guy so you don't get your teeth knocked. Like that's kind of what has to...
yeah, totally.
Somebody was asking a question here, but I guess he... Fred in the Bronx. Hello, Fred.
¿Tienes pregunta?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, guys?
Hey.
I was wondering, do you think that you would be at this point in the station if you guys didn't have a Saku on that day?
If we didn't have what? Oh, it's fun.
If you had a Saku on that day.
Do you know, it's a very funny... I think my thing with him was deteriorating relatively quickly because I cared too much about Anthony being gone. And I'm not saying he didn't care about it, but I think for me, I was much more vocal about going, dude, we got to get him. We just had different ways, I think, of handling that. So Esther kind of brought stuff to light, but that was the beginning of the end.
And as far as I go,
it seemed to me that you was as surprised as I was when he was like, "No, we're not friends." I literally dropped my coffee. I did not understand what was going on, and I felt so bad, and it was so uncomfortable.
It was surprising, because I didn't feel necessarily uncomfortable, because I'm okay with confrontation.
Right.
It was more like, why would you? In that moment, I thought, why would you say that to me on the air when nothing like that was happening before? Like, you're really throwing me under the bus on the air for no reason in this moment, and that put me in a place where, like, okay, now I have very, very little reason to ever defend you, or to feel any connection to you. Like, if he had said to me off, like, hey, I don't want to talk about it, and then off the air said, hey, man, I just don't feel like we're that close, that would have been a much different moment. But whatever, man, it is what it is. It was in the past. I had ugliness on my side too. Anthony had ugliness on his side with. So again, it's easy to just to blame him. And I don't have any. It really is weird, man. If a guy is not with a gig, it's a scary time. It sucks when that type of shit happens, and I take no joy. I really mean that too. I'm not saying that to be polite, because I have nothing to gain. He can't. No. There's nothing he can do to fuck me over.
Theoretically.
I don't believe he can. But I have. I really mean that. I have no. I don't want to see bad shit happen to him.
Thank you. I'm going to punch out and jerk off while I listen to myself on the radio.
As you should. Cool. It's what we'll do when we listen to the replay later.
Yeah, and at that time for me, I was just happy that I was kind of forgotten about doing my night show over here. Nobody even remembered I was there until they had to remember I was there. And they're like, oh, Sam's back there.
Yeah, well, I would always try to get you in the...
I know you would.
Yeah, there was weird. A lot of weird shit happened, and
it gets weird though.
It does get weird.
It's a long time.
It's a long relationship. What we've had. Hold on one second here. Gary in New York. Hello, Gary.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, that Voss roast, was Opie invited to that?
I'm sure it was an open invite. Of course he was.
He was specifically invited.
Oh, he was.
Yep.
Okay, he just decided not to show.
Yep.
Yeah, there was weird stuff too with him and Voss. Their relationship began to deteriorate, and also, I think a couple of odd things happened with a couple of other guys. So, I mean, Voss can be, we goof on Voss sometimes, but Voss is a fiercely loyal guy and has been a great friend to this show, and to all three of us.
Yes.
And to expect Rich to choose between us, I thought was incorrect. I would never have wanted Voss to have to choose between us. So, yeah, he was invited, and Voss would have addressed it, because Voss just can't help himself.
No.
Voss is just too purely funny to not address shit. But, yes, he was invited.
Okay, well, if he did show up, would you guys have tried to maybe move past all this and just kind of, move on?
I don't know. I don't know how it would have been. I mean, I wouldn't have walked up to him and said, "Fuck," it wouldn't have been like that. And I wouldn't have publicly, if I was at the mic and he wasn't at the mic, I wouldn't have publicly said something humiliating to him or tried to be genuine. I might have made a joke, but I wouldn't have tried to be a genuine twat to him. I just wouldn't have done that. It wouldn't have felt right. It would have felt shitty. But, yeah, I mean, I would have said hi to him if I saw him. I imagine he's angrier at me than I am at him, because he thinks I took his morning show, which is just simply not the truth. Had he not done certain things, he would have still had the morning show, and I would have been on either 10 to noon or in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's what we signed on to do.
Yeah, my contract says 10 to 12. It does not say mornings. Opie said mornings.
I think, I agreed to 10 to 1.
Or maybe it was 10 to 1. But it was one of those things where, because of circumstances, they were like, we're not dealing with this. You guys take the morning. But we did not steal that show. And that was why I got very angry. But again, that's neither here nor there. If he's moving on, look, he's going to get a gig. If that's what's happening, he's going to get a gig.
Yes, of course.
And I'm not saying that to be polite. It's just
what's going to happen.
Yeah, of course. I've heard whatever. I heard he already had offers before this. So
yeah, he'll be good.
Whatever statement he makes about it, or they make, or whatever the final decision is, we'll know soon.
Yeah.
All right, Gary?
All right, man. My investigative journalism is over.
Yeah, we're not trying to be vague. And, again, I'm just not that self-destructive that like I can't tell like the president of the company or other people like I'm not listening to what you're telling me. I just can't.
And I don't even think we've been that vague. I think people can,
of course,
figure it out. Do you want to see before we go to break? You want to see a reporter getting puked on?
I do, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Especially if he's doing what's the haps.
This was I think 4th of July. There was a news reporter at some kind of I don't know, rally parade type thing. It was a bunch of bikers and tattooed up dudes and stuff. And she was interviewing a guy. And while she's interviewing a guy, somebody off camera, I think a lot of them have been celebrating a little bit. They've been drinking. And off camera, somebody really ruins her
Well, I think
day.
that was.